I strongly dislike everything about you. What are you trying to express? I solely reside with my own family, so depart immediately. To my astonishment, my relatives by marriage chose to expel me. My spouse, Jason, had even courteously prepared divorce documents for me to endorse. I've already completed my part, quickly endorsed the documents. It was something I didn't desire, but it presented an opportunity for me. I endorsed the divorce documents as soon as I obtained them. My designation is Anne, and I'm a 34-year-old homemaker. I have been wedded to my spouse, Jason, for 5 years. We have no offspring and have resided alone as a pair all these years. After finishing college, Jason secured a position at a firm, but it had dreadful working conditions where he had to work from early in the morning until late at night every single day. This was mentally and physically challenging for him. I started seeking a job that I could do from home to see if there was anything I could do to assist Jason. Initially, I earned the same amount I would at a part-time job by completing tasks such as data entry. From then on, I began to learn video editing independently and gradually started receiving assignments from clients. I was able to accumulate more funds. Having saved up more money, I began to make investments. My everyday life consisted of studying, making investments to gain some experience, and saving up money for my video editing assignments. After a few years of living this way, I was able to generate quite a substantial amount of money from my investments. The actions I took were efficient, despite the associated risks. It appeared to be a suitable arrangement for me, as I was able to earn money from home on a daily basis and could easily monitor the stock prices on my computer screen. I informed Jason that I could assist with the rent to alleviate any pressure on him. Initially, Jason seemed perplexed by my offer. No, our finances are stable due to my work. Your income from video editing is just extra cash, right? I actually made some money, and I have a substantial income from my investments. Well, you don't have to stay at a job with poor working conditions. You can switch jobs. Really? Yes, I appreciate all your hard work so far. Jason seemed very pleased and later happily informed me that he had handed in his resignation to the company. I'm happy too. If this makes Jason feel better, I hope it will further enhance our relationship as a married couple in the future. However, our relationship took an unexpected turn. Hey, can we live with my parents? Wait, do you mean we're moving to your parents' house? Even if you change jobs, we can easily live together with my earnings. So there's no need for us to move to your parents' house. No, that's not what I meant. What I meant is, we can rent a room in the new condo, and we're all planning to reside together. Pardon? Have a look at this. Upon saying that, Jason presented a brochure for a recently constructed high-rise apartment. Are you possibly considering residing there? I am finally able to properly look after my parents by taking this action. No, hold on. The rental cost is $5,000. That's excessively pricey. But you're generating income through investments, correct? You can easily afford it. However, it's definitely not out of the question. I didn't aspire to live extravagantly, and I intended to save for our potential future child. Additionally, I didn't anticipate living with my parents-in-law, and it would be reasonable for Jason to support his own parents with his earnings. I felt somewhat let down because I sensed that he was using me for his convenience. Must we really live with your parents-in-law? What? You don't desire to? Well, they're still in good health, aren't they? Even Frank has a couple of years before he retires. I've been toiling so diligently at the dreadful company that I haven't been able to devote much attention to them. Please, I implore you, assist me. Jason had requested me to do so, and I reluctantly consented. As I had anticipated, this turned out to be the most significant, regrettable decision of my life. Goodness, what an incredible location. The view is stunning and delightful. I'm pleased that both of you are content with this location. My parents-in-law, despite being elated with their new life in the high-rise apartment, were very thrilled the entire day upon their initial relocation. "I am so pleased with you, Jason. You must be earning a significant amount to afford such a lavish lifestyle." Yes, I was right next to my spouse and nudged him with my elbow. Jason awkwardly informed them that the rent for this residence was not covered by his income. Upon hearing this, both Dad and Mom had puzzled expressions. In reality, Annie is the one generating income from investments, and it is from her earnings that we pay the rent. "What? So it's not from your income, Jason?" "Oh, it's from Anne's income." My in-laws were astonished to hear this, but I'm relieved that Jason disclosed it now rather than later, avoiding a deceitful revelation in the end. Initially, my in-laws were apologetic, especially to me. I felt like I was also making them feel uneasy, and I regretted that as well. Therefore, I advised my husband to reassure my in-laws not to fret too much. Since my original intention was to assist Jason, who was struggling at work, I thought it would also be beneficial if my parents-in-law could live without constraints, which would also bring joy to Jason. But my in-laws were quite demanding. After my husband disclosed this, my parents-in-law became exceedingly assertive. "I actually prefer my pasta to be slightly softer, and please bring me beer. Oh, and mayonnaise too. I would like this specific brand of bag, so could you purchase it for me, Anne? And I fancy a golf club." Mine treated me as though I were a homemaker who earns a significant amount of money for them. I will put in my best effort when it comes to household chores, but my ability to assist is limited. I aim to fulfill my role as a spouse by managing the household duties to the best of my ability. However, if we are not firm regarding financial matters, they will become accustomed to extravagance. Hence, I am determined not to indulge my in-laws. I adamantly declined my in-laws' request. Subsequently, my in-laws became increasingly irritable towards me and began lodging complaints with Jason about my behavior. "Why is she always at home? She claims to earn a substantial amount, but I have my doubts. I suspect it's not legitimate work, but rather gambling. It's unbelievable that she presents herself with such pride when all along she has been gambling. She's simply fortunate." It appears that this is what they have been discussing with Jason behind my back. As for Jason, he switched jobs to a position with a lower salary, but no overtime. He no longer had to cover rent or living expenses and could freely use his entire salary. Consequently, his wardrobe became more stylish, and he consistently wore custom-made suits, purchasing everything from designer shoes to bags. Jason, who had always been passionate about fashion, was delighted to be able to spend money according to his personal style. As Jason lived lavishly, my parents-in-law complained to him about why they couldn't live in a similar manner and afford luxury items. This led him to instruct me to purchase items for my in-laws as part of looking after them. "If you want to care for them, why don't you do it yourself? Now that you have been using your salary without constraints, you have the option to apply it to them. In fact, it's a great chance to demonstrate how much you value them." My spouse scowled when I made that statement. He couldn't argue back because what I said was accurate. However, if we were to purchase all kinds of items for his parents, he would not be able to afford his own indulgences, so he requested me to look after them. Since I declined to do so, Jason became increasingly severe towards me. "You're glued to the computer all the time, but you're neglecting your feminine side if you no longer wear makeup. You believe that you don't need to be concerned about it because you're always at home, correct? If you continue to dress like this, we will no longer be compatible with each other." "Hold on. What do you mean we won't be compatible? We're always at home, so compatibility is not even the issue. Don't you agree? That's how women like you become less and less attractive. You should always strive to be beautiful." Jason started uttering dreadful words to me at every opportunity. My in-laws witnessed this and gradually began to express their complaints directly to me. Why can't you cook better? You may be able to earn money, but you are inadequate as a wife if you can't perform your household duties properly. You should fulfill your role as a wife properly. This is what both my in-laws would say to me. As you can imagine, I was irritated as well, so I began to respond to them. But it is thanks to me and my income that you're all able to live like this now. I believe that is the most crucial thing. I mean, Beth, you're in good physical condition and not employed, but you don't engage in any household chores, correct? And Frank, you resigned from your job, correct? What would occur to you if I'm absent? I'm not requesting you to show deference to me or anything, but I don't merit being criticized in this manner. When I expressed this, my relatives by marriage were trembling with their faces reddening and unable to articulate anything. What I articulated was entirely accurate. Following that, my in-laws commenced speaking disparagingly about me to Jason when I was absent. Their voices were raised, so I could overhear them conversing about me while they were all in the living room. Who does she believe she is? That woman? She ridicules us consistently, and it truly irritates me. Even recently, she was directing remarks at us as if she was mocking us. She transformed. She became arrogant simply because she earned money from betting. I mean, if she can earn that much money, we should be capable of earning a substantial amount if we educate ourselves a little and engage in FX, right? Yes, you're correct. I mean, she accomplished it, so we can do it too. Yes, we should commence doing it now. I couldn't believe my eyes. Investing is quite distinct from gambling. It is not something that can be attained with a small amount of studying. Frank and Jason, who were corporate workers, should comprehend better what it entails. Following that, both my in-laws and my spouse became exceedingly focused and even competitive towards me. Even while having breakfast, they would say, "Oh, I have to check the stock price. I have to check it before someone." Otherwise, they would, and they would place their laptops on the dining table to begin inspecting. I'm starting to believe that I'm not welcome in this family. If they were going to be attentive to me like that, and in the middle of all this, I would witness an unforeseen, shocking reality. It occurred one day when I was out with a friend for a change. I was informed that there was an occasion for my beloved Anheim, so I took a break from all the work I had and went out. And then, I happened to encounter my spouse. It was in front of a designer store. He was just exiting the store. He purchased another designer item again. As I stared expressionlessly at my spouse with this idea in my mind, a young woman emerged from behind him and started to embrace him. I panicked and concealed myself in the shadows with my friend. Then I retrieved my phone and captured images. I was completely stunned by what I had witnessed. I knew that even though my bond with Jason wasn't good, I didn't anticipate it to be this severe. That's because I believed that he cherished me properly as his wife, even if we weren't on good terms. But I was mistaken. My spouse was engaging in a close relationship, not with me, but with a different young woman. I felt as if something had broken inside me. I don't want to be with a man like that anymore, and I don't want to reside with his parents either. From that day on, I commenced searching for a single-room apartment for myself to dwell in, and I ceased caring for my in-laws, and also ceased performing domestic chores. I pondered why I should even engage in it, and as a result, I ceased doing it entirely. My relatives by marriage were absolutely furious with me, and Jason was also upset with me. One day, they unexpectedly summoned me. "What's with your demeanor lately? Every single thing you do or say irritates me. You are too arrogant for a spouse. Mother and father are correct. You're becoming a little too confident." Beth began to raise her voice. "I detest everything about you." "Huh, what do you intend?" "I only reside with my own family, so depart immediately." To my surprise, my relatives by marriage decided to expel me. My spouse Jason had even courteously prepared legal documents for me to sign. "I've already completed my part. Hurry up and sign the documents." It was something I didn't desire, but it was an opportunity for me. I signed the legal documents as soon as I received them. Well done. Just get up quickly. Okay, I said as I commenced packing my bags. No, this residence will finally be ours. Now that she's out of the way, let's have some lavish dinner to celebrate. Dino started to speak in a loud voice again so that I could hear them. I packed my bags without a care in the world. For now, I will take only what I need. I'll call the mover to collect the rest of my belongings on another day. As I said this, my relatives by marriage looked at me with triumphant expressions and laughed. Do it as swiftly as you can, they said. It's very peculiar how people can be so self-satisfied. When you contemplate it quietly, it's them who would be the ones losing. I'm pleased. I suppose they're just foolish. Well, anyway, I will prepare and get ready to show them what hell is. I returned to my parents' house for the time being. After that, I accompanied the conductor to the tower condominium and had the rest of my belongings transported. So now this room is entirely ours, Jason says with a huge grin on his face. I'm so happy that we finally got rid of her, I said. Oh, by the way, we haven't finished discussing the divorce yet. And I presented the proof of Jason's affair in front of him that I had received from the detective agency. What? Jason was completely horrified by the photographic evidence of his own affair. We will get a divorce, but after I get the appropriate alimony for what you've done. My parents-in-law had no idea that their own son was having an affair, and their faces were pale. No way. How come you know about my affair? You just thought that you wouldn't get caught because I was always home. You weren't a fool for walking around town with her arms around you confidently. Let's discuss the rest through our lawyers, I interrupted when I said that. Jason, ignore what this woman says because we have a chance at getting back at her, said my in-laws. You're right. What did she mean by having a chance at getting back at me? Then Jason says something that surprised me. If I invest about $50,000 in margin trading, that's hundreds of $1,000s all at once. You're in significant trouble if you wager like that. I was about to counsel them, but chose not to because you acquire knowledge and practical ways to invest through mistakes. It will be costly, but a great way to learn for Jason and his parents. I hope it all goes smoothly, I said and made my way to the front door to depart from the house. They all made an effort to follow me and stated, now I won't tolerate disrespect from you, and I'll be more prosperous than you. I disregarded them and exited the house directly, returning to my parents' residence. Later, via my attorney, I initiated a claim for spousal support against my husband and his lover. I contended that it was Jason's responsibility and that there should be no property division. As per the attorney, they seemed capable of affording it, and they generously consented to remit payment to me immediately. They also assented to no property division. Perhaps they had a lucrative business transaction, I speculated. But evidently, they had not executed it yet and intended to do so after settling the spousal support. Well, I am thankful that I did not have to remit any funds to them. The spousal support was promptly disbursed, and I resolved to invest the money. Thanks to this, I was able to generate returns from investments once more and accumulated even more savings. From that point on, I enjoyed my days at leisure on my own. Then, out of nowhere, my former spouse reached out to me. Assist me. What transpired? I messed up significantly in margin trading and lost $50,000. I am entirely indebted. Oh, what a calamity. How could you wager like this when you've been succeeding all these years? You know, for the record, I wasn't really betting. I researched it thoroughly, made a lot of calculations and forecasts, and invested properly. If you just invest haphazardly like trying to win the lottery, you won't be able to earn any money. No way, and please come back. If this continues, we will have to annul the agreement for the $5,000 tower condominium. That's probably the best, don't you think? Because first of all, you can't afford it with your earnings. but my mom and dad aren't convinced, and they are going to tell me that I can do it the next time. And they will compel me to do another margin trading. You'd better stop them. But, well, it's no longer my concern, and now it's your duty to take care of your parents now. Goodbye. Hey, I said